What is going on? I have massive news. FlutterFlow just bagged $25 million in their Series A, led by Google Ventures, Gradient Ventures, Zooglar Ventures, and Y Combinator at a staggering $170 million valuation. This says so much about where the no-code, low-code landscape is going and what this means for the future. FlutterFlow says they're going to significantly increase their investment in AI and their enterprise efforts. And that leaves an incredible opportunity for people like Ambitious Labs and solopreneurs, early stage startup founders to capitalize on building businesses around FlutterFlow. Whether that means you want to start an agency, you have your own app idea, you want to start teaching people about FlutterFlow, it's evident that FlutterFlow is not going anywhere anytime soon. And I know the exact reason why this is happening. It's because there is a massive, massive sentiment in the market against Bubble, because Bubble raised a very similar priced round a few years ago at over $100 million valuation, $170 million valuation, and they're running into an issue because now they're charging for AWS. Now they're locking in your code and not letting you get back out of it. So FlutterFlow has an incredible opportunity. They are pegged against the existing players in the market like Bubble, and honestly, investors are flocking toward them because Abel even said here that they realized that closing people into a platform and not letting them go out is short term. Let me find that here. Vendor lock-in is a great strategy to extract maximum value in the short term, but we're focused on providing value for our customers, ideally in the long term. So yeah, a lot of people were, hedging against FlutterFlow, saying, oh no, because you can export the code, people are going to run away. They're not going to stick around on the platform. But this proves that if you give the people what they want, if you don't get greedy, you will absolutely win in the long run. So FlutterFlow is definitely going to be the de facto tool for learning how to build apps and for building mobile and web applications long term. Because you have to realize that FlutterFlow is also pegged to the back of the Flutter ecosystem. And Flutter is a programming language backed by Google. It's a real framework that comes with a programming language called Dart. So as that framework fundamentally gets better, as Dart optimizes for web, and as improvements release for Flutter as well, FlutterFlow is going to continue to be the GUI or the drag and drop visual interface for anybody to build apps. So another big thing that comes out of this is that with $30 million, right, in the bank account, imagine what you could do with that. You're now investing more on marketing. You're now investing on partnerships and bringing FlutterFlow to the masses. Okay, so this is exactly kind of what we saw at PrizePicks a long time ago as well, when I was early at PrizePicks, and we saw our similar rocket ship growth where we went straight from raising $500,000 to raising millions of dollars and then valued at over 9 figures. What's going to happen here is that FlutterFlow is going to spend a lot of this money on improving their product, on partnering up and really spreading awareness over FlutterFlow. That gives awesome opportunity for businesses to start, like agencies where you could teach people about FlutterFlow, where people can come to people like us at Ambitious Labs and learn how to launch their apps and build with us. So we're stoked about where the future of FlutterFlow is going, and we think that this marks a fundamental shift in the way that people learn how to build apps, because now using FlutterFlow, you can learn how to be a Flutter developer, and you can fast track your way to becoming a full stack app developer, because you can now learn how to use Figma for design. You can learn Flutter, which in the early days of building an app with FlutterFlow, you might not have to interact with Flutter a lot, but as your app gets more complex, as you require more features, you actually will get used to looking at Flutter and learning code. So FlutterFlow can be a fantastic way for people to become like hardcore developers, and you can kind of take it at your own pace and not have to go all in until you're really ready to look at that code and understand the problem-solving mindset that you need to have, to use FlutterFlow. So overall, this is fantastic validation. It means that FlutterFlow is not going anywhere for a very long time. They probably have a ton of cash in the bank to fuel for eternity. And there are probably large companies right now looking at FlutterFlow as an acquisition target. But typically, right after you raise a round, you're not looking to get acquired anytime soon. So I'm really bullish on Abel, on the team over at FlutterFlow. We work with them pretty closely, and we're excited to see where things go. We're excited to be catching those people that they aren't really focusing on right now, like the solopreneurs, the early stage startup founders, the agency owners, and we teach those people how to build apps, using our methodology at Ambitious Labs. So we got the accelerator going right now, which is awesome. So if you're an early stage founder and you got to build your app yourself, you want to use FlutterFlow, but you're non-technical, you can definitely come check us out using the link in our description for the accelerator program. And then very soon, probably the time this video is aging a bit, we're gonna have our Academy product out too. And the Academy is great for junior builders, first-time builders, or anybody with an app idea who wants to get their feet wet and learn how to build with FlutterFlow. I wanted to get this video out in a timely fashion. I'll probably break this down a little bit more later, but FlutterFlow is saying they have 10,000 self-serve paying customers. So if you multiply that, 10,000 times $70 a month, which is what their pro tier costs, that's $700,000 monthly recurring revenue. Okay, you multiply that by 12, that puts you at an $8.4 million annual recurring revenue run rate. So that's just the self-serve paying customers, and then they're saying between 10 and 20 enterprise customers as well. Okay, so 10 to 20, let's grab the median of that, which is 15 times, say that's a $100,000 contract where you're actually taking FlutterFlow, going to a large company and training dozens, if not hundreds of employees on how to use FlutterFlow. Now we're looking at another $1.5 million on just those enterprise contracts. So we just roughly calculated $10 million ARR. They raised that, what the market thinks is a $170 million valuation, which is roughly 17x, gross revenues. That's pretty aggressive, but it's honestly pretty realistic for a company like FlutterFlow, who's software based and is growing really, really quickly. Most of the applications that we're building inside the Ambitious Labs Accelerator are also SaaS apps, and they could be exiting at strong multiples. Typically for SaaS, depending on the growth rate and the market you're building in and the proprietary technology that you might have, you can probably sell for anywhere between 4x and 20x ARR, depending on exactly what you're building. But FlutterFlow can definitely justify a 17x multiple because of how innovative its technology is, the proprietary nature of the stuff that they're doing. They have a ton of moat. They have a huge moat around them where it's going to be really hard to replicate what FlutterFlow is doing because of the content that they're creating, the community they've built, and the product. Honestly, they do a really fantastic job of listening to the community and building what the community wants. So honestly, I'm super bullish on FlutterFlow in 2024 and beyond. I think BuildShip recently closed that $3 million round. Ambitious Labs bagged a pre-seed round as well. So I think all of us in the space are cash strapped and we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So fantastic news for the no-code, low-code space. I'm really proud of FlutterFlow, and I'm super stoked to be building a company that's centered around this low-code stack. So good luck to everybody building in FlutterFlow. You should be more confident than ever that FlutterFlow is the right choice for you. Signing off, my name is Alim, and I'll see you in our free Discord. Take care.